Dum 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 boom 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 boom. Welcome boom 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 to Shut Up and Listen. Be boom boom. Be ham boom boom boom. How y'all doing today? Welcome back to Shut Up and Listen. My name is Chris Evans. I go by Crevens.
I'm Morgan.
I'm Brent.
And this is Shut Up and Listen, where we bring you all local music, and we just want to get you tapped into the community. And we just want to make sure we just give everybody a spotlight, as well as tell us what we need to hear and what we can share with the world. Just make sure everybody knows about everything, and let's make things happen. And today, how you feeling, Morgan?
I'm feeling good. I kind of think I need a nickname so that I can say my name and then I go by.
You say MK Mortal Kombat?
No, that's
Okay.
not the one I want. But I'm good. We have a very special guest.
Oh.
You might know him personally. Do you want to tell us who this person is? How do you know this person? Who is this person to you is what I want to know today.
Bring the soul connection.
Bring the soul connection.
Okay, so hear me out.
He's my basement. No.
So, no, dead serious though. This is one of my favorite stories, and to this day, he's annoyed at me, but we still love. It's still love. So check it out. Growing up in Georgia, like literally a vibe of, you ever listen to lo-fi beats, just chilling steady too?
No, but sure.
All right, yes,
Because I haven't chilled and studied in,
You don't
off
chill
to
at
a
great
while.
start.
So we're, exactly.
just find
This is called professionalism. But I get your point, yes.
Yeah, all right. So back in the day,
A lot of research.
finding those artists, is because there was other. We talk about it another day. But basically, fan of this particular artist for so long. I moved here, live here for about 10 years on and off, and I go to Black Noise to hang out with Nico and make a song. And he's like, "Yeah, man. So my guy Justice just left." I was like, "Who's that?" He says, "Phantom Power." I said, "Wait." Pull out my phone. I'm like, "Hold on. This guy right here?" He said, "Yeah." I was like, "No way. How is he in your studio right now?" I found out he live in Bellingham. So everybody make some noise for one of my favorites, one of my good friends. Like, I'm so glad to be able to call my friend Phantom Power. How you doing, Phantom?
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
I'm good. I'm excited.
I'm excited, Morty.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and introduce yourself. Who are you for the people that don't know?
My name's Justice. I make music under the name Phantom Power sometimes, and I'm just here with the homies, and I'm excited to be here. Yeah.
I love to hear that. We love to hear that so much. So I feel like we just gotta dive in. I feel like I have questions
Go
because
for
we just
it.
hang out. I don't get
Yeah.
it to just ask the business questions.
Spill it.
Spill a bean.
So
I have nothing to hide.
You've been making music. How long have you been making music? Just fun wise, and then also professionally.
Yeah. Since I was a wee lad,
Way back when.
Yeah, in the 5th grade, I played cello. That was like
snap.
my introduction to music. And then for some reason, I thought playing guitar would be cooler. And so I switched to that and kind of just like messed around with it like kids do through like middle school. And then it wasn't until really high school that I kind of started to take things a little more seriously and was like in bands and stuff like that and started making my own songs. And then late high school, I started like producing and just chose the Phantom Power name because it was like in my studio and it was like something that was necessary for me. For people that don't know, it's like a different power source that you use for condenser microphones. It's really dumb.
It's the best. Right? It's so simple, but it's.
But yeah, so I just changed it to an F, and I've been making music under that name since, and now I'm here. Yeah.
But now that you're here, let's go. We're staying back. My mom was calling. Anyways,
She knew.
She knew.
She knew you were talking
It's
to
like a movie
Phantom Power.
theater.
Yeah.
Ladies and
My mom
gentlemen, please
wanna
put your
talk to you.
phone
You
on
wanna talk to my
silent.
Yeah, put her on. Let's FaceTime her. That'll be.
She got
that'll
an
be a
Android.
Shut up and
She
listen.
has an Android.
Oh shit.
Hey, but now check it out. Though. What bands? Like, what kind of bands were you? I was not aware of this.
Bands.
Like, what did
You said you were in bands, like coming, like
What were you
going to
doing?
high school
Oh,
and
yeah.
whatnot. Like, what was that like?
So It was probably about like junior year of high school was when I was
What year
like
is this?
2012.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up outside of Seattle, like kind of in between Bellevue and Renton most of the time.
Sure.
My parents were split, and so I kind of just like
You want a
traded
4 or
time
5?
in between
Yeah.
them. Yeah. And so junior year is when I kind of realized that this was something that I was like actually interested in and kind of passionate in, and so like I started doing it with more people and kind of sharing my process and stuff. And I ended up joining my friend's band, which was called "This Is Your Captain Speaking." It's run by my homie Nick Johnston, who's a super talented dude to this day. He's still making music. And yeah, we were in this very big band of like 12 to 15 people, like pretty inspired by like Broken Social Scene and like that kind of like that kind of like rotating parts type band, you know what I mean? And so me and Nick would write the songs, and then we would just kind of put them together as like a huge band, and like every show was different. It was really fun. And then that kind of just inspired me to like make my own music. And so if you look close enough on the internet, you can find like a secret singer-songwriter record that is just like something that I made in high school. It's pretty dumb.
I'm gonna go
but-
looking.
Wait, are you telling us that you can't tell us? You can't give an exclusive right here?
You're just gonna have to. It's not that hard to find. Like if you know my name, then
Like
you can,
you're
Okay, so we got all the facts you need. Hey, shut up and listen.
if you know my name, you can go find it. But just like don't troll it or anything. Like that.
We're not gonna troll it. We're gonna support it.
But that was like my first foray into like my own production. That was like when I was finally getting comfortable with like the idea of like recording my own music was when I was like working on that. So and that was like
awesome.
2013, so like 10 years ago now.
That's
It's
awesome.
crazy.
And so from there, you've lived so many music lives to getting to what Phantom Power is now. When did that kind of really start going for you?
So after I made like the singer-songwriter stuff, I just like I think it was either just like the type of music that was like in that kind of scene that was coming out, or like me just being tired with it overall. I just like kind of wanted to stop doing that and started doing something else. And so I pretty much started only listening to hip hop and like beats and stuff like that, and kind of got into this idea that like there are people that just make beats and like are producers, and that seemed like something that I could probably be good at, because I was never really like proficient at one instrument or like one thing, but I was good at like a lot of things, and I had a good ear, and so I was like, this is something that I could probably do.
Run some Sonics and whatnot.
Put it all together.
Yeah, and so like I started like making my own beats and stuff. Like that's where the like Phantom Power name came from. And then in college, I started meeting some people that like were into like similar music that I was into, and we started
Where
like
was college at?
Western.
Hey,
Yeah.
shout out Western, boy.
I'm one of those people that like went to Western and never left, and I don't want to leave for
How
a
often
while.
does that happen?
Pretty often.
Happened with me.
He knows the vibe.
That's the vibe.
Bellingham's a great place. Once you're here, you're
Yeah.
close enough. You're not too far to where you can go to a city or fly to other places.
It's the tap water.
And the tap water.
It's good. Yeah.
Best.
So no, we're gonna mention the tap water.
Arguably, some of the
every-
best like tap water in the world is like on like this west side of Washington for
is.
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so
Yeah,
prominent.
man.
I think this is like the 4th episode we've
insane.
mentioned the tap water.
They
It's
might
good.
put a little extra fluoride in it. But that's okay.
Hey, that's why I use Tom's.
Tom's toothpaste.
So you came up to Western then in
2013, 2014
and
era.
so everything that you've done musically has actually, aside from the singer-songwriter, but in the modern kind of Phantom Power, it's all
yeah,
here.
for the most
It's,
part, it's
you know-
mostly been here. Yeah.
dope.
For a while, there was like when I was still like kind of more codependent or like on my parents and stuff like that. I would like go like live like at their house like in the summer, and so sometimes like music would be made there, but a majority of it was just like made in between me being at school at Western, and I was a music major. I played classical guitar. That's like what I did to get into school. I wasn't.
So we're gonna want to
I
hear that at
wasn't,
some point.
okay.
I wasn't very good, But I think mostly the reason I wasn't very good is because I was more interested in classical music that it does not translate well to guitar. And so it made playing things kind of challenging for me, being that I'm not a fucking maestro. But yeah, so I just spent a lot of my time making beats instead. And I kind of started to grow a little following on SoundCloud because this thing called lo-fi hip-hop was starting to pop off, which is like, at the time, at least, it was like these very grimy beats that like had like
dirty.
Yeah, it had like very like kind of like old like Japanese samples and like from like spaghetti western movies and stuff like that. And then you put like really raw drums under it. And then you hit the lo-fi button on the SP404 and that's it.
That's it. That was it, literally.
And so, yeah, I just started making beats like that because it was something I was interested in. And it like, I was really into like Flying Lotus and James Blake. And it was kind of just like a good like delineation from that. It kind of was like in that space, but not really. And so that's kind of how I started to grow a following, and that just led to me putting a lot of stuff on streaming, and that kind of has just grown into what it is today. And I wouldn't say that I really only do lo-fi stuff anymore. I pretty much don't do lo-fi stuff anymore, but
You can go listen to it, but we're in a new
you can
era.
go listen to it. Yeah.
So, I mean, I know we're supposed to do that at the end, but hey, what's happening this week, my man?
Oh yeah, Pure Flaws album listening party at the
All
Blue Room.
We got a whole new album
Yep.
coming.
It starts at 8:30, doors at 7:30, and it's $10. And
Support your local music.
Crevens is gonna perform. Cash,
Why?
Cash and OG Neeks are gonna perform.
Bumlord's
and,
name is on the
Lord
poster.
seems to be.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like I'm
Bumlord
online.
presents.
I know you better not
Yeah.
be late.
Yeah.
Don't be late. Morgan gonna
I'm
get
not.
you. Morgan gonna get you.
No,
I'll be
no.
late, but I'll make it on time.
But yeah, I'm gonna play the new record, which is ultimately why we're here, because I have a
And
new
yeah,
record.
so
coming out.
with you went through to lo-fi, and now you're like you have this new album.
Mhm.
And how do you feel about being able to put out that new kind of more where you're going towards style of music?
What are the differences between like the creation and like how that was happening versus taking the time with this one and how this release and everything is going? My bad.
Not just press one button.
Didn't hit the lo-fi button.
So yeah, I jumped a little bit, but like
this time.
what I kind of failed to say before is that I think that kind of what made me stand out amongst that like kind of side of things is that I do record a lot of the music myself, and it's like very seldom that I actually like sample anything.
Right.
And so like I've spent the last like 10 years just like pretty much specifically being like a producer and an audio engineer specifically for like my stuff. And so that's where a lot of my like attention and my time has gone to just like crafting whatever this is that I make. And just being that I've been into so much stuff and I like so many things, I never even really like considered my stuff lo-fi for what it is. It's just like,
It was always put in that category because like everything else that came out like around it or
Right.
with those releases.
Or just
Right.
be on someone's playlist that was
right.
had it
It's
on.
just like if it gets put in like a lo-fi playlist, then people are just gonna say it's lo-fi. But like I find that if I try to make something to fit into something, it never does. And so I just I don't know.
you gotta
it's
just make.
'cause
You
it's
just gotta
not-
make what you want to make.
Yeah.
Why is it that you can make something and then it makes sense afterwards?
Yeah.
art.
I just I try not to have any objective other than just like trusting the initial ideas that I have and kind of going off of that. And so yeah, I kind of got tired of this like label that I had of just like being like this like specific thing. And so I really wanted to take some time to like develop and start trying new things, and started listening to a bunch of trap music and just was getting really comfortable with the idea of adding more energy to my music in some way, or just like making it so that it was a little bit more exciting. And so I kind of just experimented for years, for like 2 or 3 years, and I came together with 10 songs eventually, and now they're going to come out on Friday.
We'll be right back after these messages.
This episode is brought to you by Black Noise Records, located downtown off Bay Street. They pay top prices for records in Bellingham and the greater Bellingham area, cash and store credit. Go get 10% off your next record purchase when you tell the cashier you've listened to Shut Up and Listen podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Binary Recording Studios, located where? Right here in Whatcom County. Binary has been in business for 1, 2, 3, I don't even know how long, but they are offering the best and the best and the best of the best video and audio production. So if you're a band and you're looking to record an album, or if you have any other audio recording needs, Binary Recording Studio is going to be where you need to go. My boy Bob, he will set you up. He will make sure that you are set up for what? Success. He will make sure that you are good to go. And welcome back.
When you going to you mentioned the ideas that you'd be building, that things are built off of. How do you capture the ideas when they're coming out of the studio, or more is it when you're in the studio they kind of all come through trial and error and hit or miss and trying to figure out where you're at? Or can you come in and go, okay, I've got this idea, I need to put in this and da 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 da, and I know I'm going to have a complete song at the end of it?
Yeah, it's both. It's both, because sometimes I've definitely built songs off of iPhone voice memos,
right?
And I've just recorded guitar on a voice memo and just have made that into a whole song. But I've also woken up with a song idea in my head and have been able to get out that idea in that way as well. And that's why just the recording aspect and the production side has been really important to me, because I think one of the most frustrating things that can happen as a creative is you have the vision and the ideas, but you can't execute.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So I really only my creative purpose, I feel is to just get the best ideas out as possible and have them in a way that's actually digestible. And so that's why I spend a lot of my time just in my hole and not outside. And
this man, he's in the cave. He's
inside a lot. We've been making him come outside more.
I be dragging him out sometimes.
Okay.
But it's hard to get him out the house.
I can appreciate that.
I love him to death.
How do you know when you said it came together with a collection of 10 songs? How do you know when the song is done? That's one of my favorite, for every, whether it's you or any other musician, but especially the, musicians who are sitting in the studio and have access to everything and can tinker and tinker and tinker and tinker. How do you get to a point where you're I hate this song, I can't do this anymore? Or are you that's exactly what I want to hear, that's the sound I was looking for? Or is it a mixture of both?
I like the phrase that an artist is never finished. They just decide that the work is done.
Yep.
And I feel that a lot of the time. I feel if I wanted to, I could work on music forever. And that's probably to my detriment, because I only put out an album every couple of years or something. But I don't know. I think that I really try to limit myself in that regard as well, because I totally agree that in this digital world where you can pretty much make anything happen in a million different ways, it's easy to just kind of sit there and tinker forever, especially with music production where it's totally intangible, it's in the air, because all you can do is hear it. There's no visual representation for it. It's so easy to just be let me take 200 out of the snare and all this shit for so long. And so and that just goes back to my initial idea of trusting the main ideas and having those be the focus, because as long as I can do that and as long as I can get those ideas out effectively and build around that, that's what I would
Do you
deem a success.
Do you sometimes then feel that you get lost in the weeds with it, where you're way over here, and all of a sudden it's 3 a.m. on a Tuesday, and you're like, what in the bleep am I doing? I've got to I got to strip back the last 2 days worth of work and kind of go at it.
Of course. Yeah.
Do you give yourself the latitude then to make those mistakes in that time?
For sure.
That's just what he won't put out for us to hear.
Yeah. Like, a lot, something that I've really been harping on with myself lately, and like my process is I have to be habitual with it. I have to do it daily. Yep. I have to like sit down and make some sort of music every single day, because if I don't, then there's the chance that I'll start to like slip in the areas that I want to be proficient in.
Right.
And so like, and I see it all the time with like, something that always happens to me is I'll be so stuck in the like realm of production that I'll like neglect like playing instruments or like using my voice or something like that. And then I go to play piano and I suck. And so, like it's really important for me to like be very habitual with my processes. And I think that a lot of what makes this album special to me is I really tried not to get in this mindset of thinking things are like imperfect and that they need to be changed. And I really focused on this idea that this thing is the way that it is. Let's build around that idea and like make those things that would be like called imperfections. Let's make those shine this time.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
I've just found that with a lot of stuff these days and just how the way the world works, like you have to do things a certain way, and like then you have to share it with people, and then the pictures have to look a certain way, and it's just like I'm really tired of this idea of everything having to be like a certain way in order for it to be accepted. And so
just pure flaws.
Exactly. And so that just like goes into the title. It's just I really tried to make music that was emotive and not necessarily because it was like perfectly mixed or like it has the right things going on or
There's
whatever.
an element of punk rock to it, almost in that kind of approach where the mistakes and the things, the imperfections are part of the beauty that's within the art.
I'm really influenced by this Japanese tradition called wabi-sabi, which is like kind of a similar vibe to that, where like it's the actual imperfections that make the work whole and like human.
Okay.
And like so like there's a lot of like different elements in Japanese art and architecture where like there's like Reiki pottery that's like all cracked out and like that adds beauty to it, and then there's like shoshugi-ban, like wood burning and things like that are just like most people would deem that as like imperfect or just like a piece of burnt wood, but it's actually so beautiful because of that, and like it tells a story.
Yeah.
And I'm just really obsessed with this idea that something can hold like a ton of meaning to you, and it doesn't have to be because it's like perfect for you. Even it can make you uncomfortable and still be really cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, sorry, that was
fantastic.
That was a great answer.
Yes. Cool. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Cool.
So I know what you make and like the music you do. What is like when you're sitting at home and you're just listening, you're not making.
Mm-hmm.
What are you currently listening to? Like what is your vibe when you're going to get in the car and you're going? And if you say your own album, that's cheating.
No, I couldn't. I really have to separate after I'm done for a while. I just get too tired of listening to it. Today, I listened to nothing because I was kind of worried about the road closures and stuff like that. And I went down this road that said it was road closed, and I was just like, we're just gonna do it and see what happens.
I know exactly what road you're talking about.
Have you heard that?
But I'm always listening to a bunch of different things, but currently I've been listening to a lot of the new Young Thug album because Young Thug is one of my favorite artists ever, and he needs to be freed from prison immediately. It's not a joke. It's not funny, Free Thug.
He needs a new album.
And, man, what else? I've been like bumping the new James Blake song like on repeat because I'm just really excited that he's making that kind of music again, where it's more like
The return to the OG.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I listen to a lot of different stuff. I'm always like kind of listening to like dub and like old dance hall stuff and like anything that like a lot of old music too, because I'm just like obsessed with like old recording techniques and tape and stuff like that. So like anything that kind of gets into that realm too, I enjoy.
I'll tell you what though, there's a moment in time. I'm so sorry about your toes. There's this one moment in time where I said, "Can you give me an album suggestion?" And you sent me Conan Moccasin.
Oh fuck yeah!
Never heard of Conan Moccasin before.
Yeah, man.
Have you ever heard of him?
He's amazing.
Really?
I'll send it to you now.
All right.
Yeah.
It is beauty.
Really?
Calm, wavy, perfect.
All right.
It's
Unorthodox.
yeah.
Is all of that include like
I like I use the alien emoji a lot because I like music that kind of like is like space anthemic or like like
No, I get it.
like,
Yeah.
just kind of like space rock or not even, it doesn't even have to have like a genre. It just has to remind me of like other worlds and like
Yep.
space
Yep.
and stuff like that. So I'm like heavy into like Pink Floyd and Conan Moccasin
Flaming
and
Lips.
Conan
and
Moccasin.
Heat.
Who played
and,
Bellingham in 1992? But that's a different story.
wait who?
Flaming Lips. Yeah, different story. We'll move on. Sorry.
them lips be flaming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, to wrap up this lovely
Yeah, so we'll
conversation,
slide off the rails.
Gotta keep him in track. To wrap this up, we talked about it for a moment, but this Friday at the Blue Room, what can we expect? You have people playing. Are we going to be listening? What are people going there to experience?
So, like I said, Cash and OG Neeks will be opening as well as CHRVNS.
Heck yes, we get to hear them.
Bellingham legends, OGs in the scene. Hopefully Chris will play some songs that I've produced for his
We're
new
doing like half the
stuff.
set is just that.
Sneak peek.
And yeah, I don't think that I'm gonna be performing per se, but
Just
there will
vibing
be
it.
visuals and several of the videos, like the music videos that I've done for this album, will all be playing. And I like this idea of having this moment of closure where like I'm around a lot of really good people and kind of like sending this work on to the world. And it'll have already been out for a day, but it's still like a good opportunity for everybody to get together and just like kind of experience it together. And I hope that people really like it.
And just get to enjoy it with your friends and family.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly. Yeah,
I'm extremely excited for it.
it'll be fun.
It's gonna be a blast.
Hopefully, I don't get booed off the stage.
Probably not.
Could never.
Feel pretty
Man,
good that that's not going
This-
to
this-
happen.
Now Chris, maybe no.
I mean, for sure. But
Not your songs that you produce.
big thing I want to see after this is that you are actually doing shows. I just want to see you actually doing live performances because I think the way you put songs together, the way you're able to just kind of just mix with the sonics, it could be very beneficial to different bills. And I want to see you out there.
Yeah.
and I think Bellingham could use that for like certain.
sure.
Yeah, it'd be super dope.
I'm trying to-
very excited.
Yeah, I'm trying to tap into that world for sure. It's always just kind of been a thing where like as a producer that's like also like a main artist type thing, I've found that like playing instrumental music can be kind of weird. Just like kind of sitting in front of a laptop and just like nodding your head in front of an audience is kind of weird to me.
No, yeah, you just pretend you're pressing all the buttons.
But yeah, that's why I've kind of thought that like DJing is probably more like in my forte because like I can just like make a bunch of remixes with my shit and then also just play a bunch of music that I enjoy listening to at high volumes with my headphones on
Boom.
in my house with my dog and my cat.
Shout out Ladybug.
Shout out
Shout out the
Ladybug and shout out Mr. Man.
Mr. Man. hey, Bellingham. Shut up and listen. July 28th, Pure Flaws.
Gotta be there. Don't miss it.
The album.
The album release
Of the year.
of the year.
Yes.
Meow, 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 meow.
Meh.
We do want to thank you so very much for coming on our podcast and chit-chatting with us.
Thank you for
Acting
having
like you
me.
didn't just see us like a day ago.
Oh no, it was perfect. We were hanging out at block party. It was fire.
But yeah, thank you. I
Thank
can't wait
you.
to be at the album release. Everyone make sure you are there. And do you have any final words before I thank our team?
This is Bellingham. This is Shut Up and Listen. Let us know who you want us to talk to, what we need to know about, what everybody else needs to know about. I can't say it enough. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it's very true, it's mad true, because there's a lot of people that we don't know about that we need to. And it's just, it's a great feeling being up here just talking to everybody and learning so much. And
Should
being a
talk to
fan.
Daniil.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Who's Daniil?
Ideasm.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. All right, bet.
I'll link you.
All right, say the word.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Bellingham, thank you. Where can you find us?
You can find us basically anywhere, actually.
Ideas.
If you go to the link in probably any platform that you are listening to this on, you can find even more information on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, Facebook, you name it, we have it.
Wherever
Working
you
on-
consume media. Wherever you just doom scroll the most.
Exactly.
You'll find me there.
Exactly. And I will be reading those DMs that you send us to give a suggestion of artists, so please tell us. And just with that, we need to thank our team that has made this opportunity even possible, from Brent, Chris, Phantom, who's here with us now, and then our great team here with Binary Recording Studio and Rocket Soul Studios. Shout out, Bob. But yeah, thank
Shout
you.
out, Bob.
Shout out,
Shout out, Bob.
He's so many microphones.
Hey, that Mike Locker crazy. Hey, but hey, look, Bellingham and the greater area and the whole wide world, thank you for tapping in. This is Shut Up and Listen. Have a great day.
Cute
Or
music.
night, wherever it is. Boom, boom, yeah.